Let's start by closing our eyes for a second. Guys, actually close them. Imagine it's 1 year from today. Where are you? What are you feeling? What do you look like? Now, open them. In this tiny moment, some of you felt excitement, and some of you must have felt a knot in your stomach. Well, either way, congratulations, because you have just used humanity's greatest superpower, which is also its most dangerous one: the ability to imagine the future. Foresight, our fragile superpower. Now, taking this room 300,000 years back, a Homo sapien stares at dry grass and thinks, winter is coming, I should store food. That thought, that conscious ability is what enabled mankind to become the kings of the planet. This is what we call episodic foresight. Only two kinds of brains on Earth do this systematically: ours and a couple of genius birds that we call corvids. Because of this gift, we were able to invent agriculture, vaccines, rockets to Mars. But you know what this also brought? 2 a.m. doom scrolling, insomnia, and the entire market for anti-anxiety medication. So the question at hand is foresight good or bad? Let me introduce you all to someone who battles this very question every single day. Everybody, meet Fluff. Fluff is a cafe shop worker who recently quit his job. But he is no undetermined chap, so he finds an art competition he's sure he will ace. But here's the problem. Fluff was used to specific recipes and specific rules. Improvisation is new. Improvisation is scary. It's oftentimes embarrassing. But sometimes it's like RDJ's I Am Iron Man. One unscripted line that kickstarted Marvel. So Fluff grabs his pencil boxes, papers, and every supply he could find, and he heads to this art challenge. Now here's what he's supposed to work with. The page they give him, almost completely blank. One tiny scribble, and the rest is a terrifying white void. Fluff freezes. This is what psychologists call the blank canvas paradox. It's the moment possibility becomes paralysis. You see, 80% of people, when handed a truly blank page, leave it blank. Why? It's not that they have no ideas, but the fact that they're afraid of the wrong idea. What could he make? What could this be? What colors should he use? Now, I want each of you, for this very reason, to interpret this project. And while we're at it, here are a couple of my test results, each one being incredibly human and unique, and acting is proof of just going for it and doing your own thing. Fluff submits his work. Phew, it's all over, right? But boom, now he's thinking, what if the judges hate it? What if I'm laughed out of the room? What if this proves that I should have never quit that cafe? I want you all to compare Fluff's mindsets now. On the first hand, his imagination helps him complete the goal of making that doodle. And on the other hand, it just fuels futile overthinking. Diving into the technicalities of this matter, because foresight isn't fluff. It's your brain on default mode. It has the power to make the worry index jump. But the funny thing is that 85% of the things that we worry about literally never happen. When you imagine a scary future, the same brain network lights up as it would in a real crisis. It's what we call the default mode network, or the DMN. It's the same circuitry that's hyperactive in clinical depression and anxiety disorders. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett puts it this way: your brain treats imagined threats identical to real ones, which means your body releases cortisol, aka the stress hormone, for a disaster that only exists in your head. I'd like to take you all back to 2020 now. The pandemic, remember? I watched a brilliant doctor, one of the most rational humans I know, completely paralyzed. She wasn't afraid of the virus in the present, but instead was drowning in every possible future where her family just didn't make it. Foresight wasn't helping her prepare, it was holding her hostage. It can be thought of as something like a hammer. A hammer can build a house, but it can also smash your thumb down. Which brings me back to our original question. Is foresight good or bad? David Hume and Immanuel Kant noted that imagination is situated between our perceptions and our understanding. As Kant wrote in 1780, that we do not see the world the way it is, we see the world according to our instruments. And so this was the conclusion, that foresight isn't good or bad. What matters is direction and how one uses it. And for that very reason, here are my top 5 rules to help you out. Rule number 1, be bored. Stare at a wall, turn off notifications, and just be static. This is what we call the white space mode. And this static is the fluff with which we want to start. Rule number 2, you need to ask dumb questions. What's the Wi-Fi password inside a black hole? Do echoes ever get tired of repeating themselves? Ask everything your chemistry teacher would have sent you to a therapist for. Because in the modern world, we've been trained for normality. But who decides what's normal? And should there be a normal? Well, yeah, without a normal, physics wouldn't be that easy. You get the point of dumb questions. Rule number 3, you steal like an artist. I remember 11-year-old Ami. My first ever book series was just a copy of my favorite author's series with different character names. So yes, oftentimes, in order to start, one needs to steal. But in propriety, we'll be taking inspiration. Rule number 4, you fail on purpose. Draw a smiley face, then draw it wrong. Mess up, upside down, with fangs and wild hair. Failure is imagination's gym. And this is a lot like improvisation. Like when actors forget their scripts, but come up with something much, much cooler. And my final for you, rule number 5. You need to share your weird. Tell people your strangest idea. Their is oxygen. Because humans are social creatures. Oftentimes, being weird alone results in frustration. But when you share your mess, you'll eventually brainstorm and create upgrades to it. Let me tell you a story. In 2008, 2 guys told their friends an idea. What if we rent out air mattresses during conferences? Their friends laughed. They posted it anyway. That company is now Airbnb, worth $100 billion. And this is how imagination works. You work with the ordinary, mash it with the unexpected, and share your weird before doubt deletes it. The world doesn't need perfect ideas. It needs yours, raw and alive. We will never stop imagining the future. That's what makes us human. But the question is, will we let the future use us, or will we be the ones using it? And while we are the only conscious beings on this planet, before these guys show up, let's take pride in our trembling, our dumb questions, our anxiety, and our messy drafts. They are proof that we care, proof that we are alive. So let the fluffiness spread, and I'll let you fill the next blank page. Thank you.